Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to the Student Summit, which is in partnership with Microsoft Reactor. Today, we're going to be seeing what cloud and Azure is in a very interesting manner. The session is going to be conducted by myself, Vidushi, and Vedant. A short introduction of myself. I am a Gold Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador from India, and I'm pursuing my bachelor's in computer science and engineering, which is specialized in big data analytics.
And about me, I'm Vedant. I'm a grad student at University of British Columbia. Here in Vancouver, Canada, I'm pursuing Masters of Sciences in Computer Science. And yes, I'm a gold student ambassador here at Microsoft. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's dive into what cloud is. Um, we're going to be looking at an interesting scenario here to understand on the way about what cloud is and what are its advantages. So let's imagine you have a dog. So this dog right here is going to be very famous to a lot of people, and also has won many awards. He's a golden retriever and his name is Tucker. So you have a dog, and the dog's name is Tucker. Um, Tucker always likes Cheetos, wants more Cheetos, and never gets full of Cheetos. But now the condition here is that you just have one photo of this goodest boy. So this is a really cool photo of Tucker. He's trying to float in the swimming pool. You're scared what would happen if you lose this picture. You just have one photo of Tucker and you really want it, but what happens if you lose it? So in order to prevent losing the picture, you actually upload it onto your computer and on a social media, where in this case, assume that Tucker has uploaded it on Twitter. So this is what it looks like. There's a picture, and now you can view the picture on your phone, on your laptop. Anyone can view it on his Twitter handle. How did this happen? You actually just uploaded your image to a cloud, and without even knowing what cloud is, you just performed an action. So cloud is used in everyday life. You and me every day, all of us use cloud in multiple actions. So is this what it looks like? Is Tucker's image actually floating on a cloud? um, so it's actually inside a data warehouse. This is where Tucker's image is. So a data warehouse, in simpler terms, is going to be a collection of a lot of PCs, a lot of servers, and this is where these image gets stored. And a data warehouse could be all throughout the globe. So it can be anywhere and everywhere, and we can choose to keep our documents or pictures or whatever we upload to the cloud in a certain kind of a data warehouse, or just keep it anywhere in the world. So now, a few advantages of actually uploading the picture onto the cloud is going to be that there's very high availability of the picture. So you can actually access it on a laptop, on an iPad, and also on phone. So now that you've uploaded it to cloud, it's easier for you to access it across multiple devices. Coming back to the old question of what happens if I lose the picture, you actually have it on multiple devices now you can view it anytime, anywhere, which brings me to the availability that you can be accessed on when you're at home, when you're riding in a bus, or let's say when you're working out or in an office. You might just miss Tucker anytime, anywhere, so you have his image readily available in cloud for you to access. This is the first advantage, that you can look at your documents anytime, anywhere. Next step is going to be the reliability advantage. So your picture was on the laptop, Tucker's picture was on your laptop, but what if an alien came and took away your laptop, or you just don't have access to it, or someday the laptop just decides that it does not want to work anymore? What are you going to do? So now that you upload your image in the cloud, it is very reliable, and now you can access your image from anywhere, anytime, and This reliability is going to be maintained by permissions that are granted to your cloud service, and companies have their own securities. The cloud that's the company which has owns the cloud gives provides a reliable connection for you to store your documents securely. And so reliability here is, if in case there's one of the data warehouse that goes down, the other warehouses are going to give you the documents or the resources that you wanted. So that's how reliability works on a cloud. It's not that your image is not going to be accessible if the data warehouse is down. It depends, and it's going to be accessible based on the image in multiple data warehouses. So it's going to give you the resources from wherever it's possible. The third and the greatest advantage of using cloud is going to be the accessibility and sharing advantage. So you can share your the image easily with your friends and family, or whoever wants to look at Tucker. So they can either create links or just share a folder with them. And just like you and me, we upload multiple documents on OneDrive. Once we do that, we can easily share the document with someone on a link. We can collaborate on a link, or just share the folder, share the file via an email. There are multiple methods. All of this is possible only because of cloud. If there was no if you did not use cloud, then you just have it in your laptop, then you might put it in a pen drive, give away the pen drive to someone. It's a big hassle. So these are the top advantages, but it's not just you and Tucker. Let's look at a bigger picture. We need the cloud for multiple reasons, and it has a lot of advantages. Biggest of the biggest companies use cloud for their work, for their collaboration, and also have their own cloud services. For example, Microsoft has its own cloud called Azure, and it the a few of the advantages are going to be that it's very secure, has a, allows the user to manage the security of their documents. It's easily scalable. You can scale up your projects on cloud. You can have global access of anytime, anywhere. There's also a hybrid cloud. You can choose to have either a public cloud, a private cloud, or just a hybrid cloud. And it's very, very flexible. So it's not just you uploading an image to cloud, but it's more than that. It's also developing projects that are accessible by everyone, and you can scale them very easily on cloud. With services like pay as you go, you don't even have to worry about um, buying for resources which you're not going to use. So Vedant is going to be talking about more about Microsoft Azure. So I'll give it over to him. Last but not the least, it's not just one photo. We can have thousands of photos on the cloud and relish all of them anytime, anywhere, securely, reliably. Share it with people all using the cloud. So cloud is massive, and it's the next big technology. Over to you, Vedant. Thank you.
Thank you, Vidushi, for amazing presentation and on cloud. And I just loved it. I mean, the way you explained it, especially with the dog. I love dogs, so I loved your presentation in that order. Now let's move on to Azure. We'll jump onto Azure. Now we know about clouds. We know about Azure, but we don't know about Azure in details and how this Azure functionality works, what other services does Microsoft Azure offers to us, and how can we explore them? How can we use them, and what can we make out of it? So I'll quickly jump on to the Azure website. I'll just let's consider me as newbie exploring the website for the first time, and let's find out how I do it. And I mean, we do not have to assume myself as newbie. I guess I am one in a way. So let's jump on. I'll just quickly share my screen, um, and there we go. Alrighty. So let's open the website portal.azure.com. That's your go-to place. Now I have logged in. I'm already logged in with my student ambassadors account, and that's what I see. So I did work on Azure before, so that's why you see all these resources here. Resources are basically entity on Azure that you're creating and working on. So I have already created certain resources, but let's ignore that as of now, and we'll just assume that I'm here for the first time, and what will I do? Now, the best part about Azure, as compared to many other cloud services, is that it's very easy to navigate. That's my personal experience. It's very easy for me to find these services here, and to get started. Even as a newbie, I can see a lot of services here listed down, like Azure services. And if I don't want to take any of these, I can simply click on more services, and it just list me down all the services that it offers. Now, as a part of this uh, session, let's walk through the services that we have here. Now, we have a lot of services here, like tons of them. You can see these categories, and each category has like 20 to 30 services in them. So yeah, obviously we cannot go through one by one all the services, but we can have a quick look of all the services that we have here. Now, first we have this general section, which basically talks about um, things which tools which help you with your account management here at Azure. For example, the marketplace, the service health, the free services that it offers, the templates, the cost management, what subscription are you on, what were the recent things that you created, all the resources that you created, and so on. So that's the general account management stuff. Going down to compute services. So compute basically helps you with, well, computation, as it says. And it offers one of the very popular service that often is used. A lot of services, a lot of people use that service, and it is often required as a developer. I mean, I have used it for a lot of times, which is virtual machine. Now, virtual machine is basically what it says. It's virtualization of a machine. Now, I was using a very bad computer for last few months. It took a lot of time to boot. It took a lot of time to even open a folder. And my end goal was to write a code and create a mobile app. Now that was difficult with that kind of computer, because the computation was not happening. It was very slow. Now, in those cases, I can simply log on to Azure and create a virtual machine. So a virtual machine is just a machine, say a computer machine, which is created for you, but its architecture, its data center, its um, computation, its server, everything resides at Microsoft Data Center on backend. So you don't have to worry about any of those architecture. You simply decide your configuration while creating the machine from this create tab. You can select your configuration that you want based on what you want to do. And it will create a machine for you, which runs on your system, which pretends to run on your system, which is not actually running on your system. So you can do all kind of stuff, creating a mobile app or whatever services and tools you want. You can use on that machine, on that computer, but actually the computation is happening on cloud. So here you're connected with the system. So it's not using the power of your own computer, own desktop, and but still you're able to use it. That's the power of virtual machine, and that's what I did a lot of times for when I was using a very bad machine back then. Virtual machine was my go-to strategy, and it worked well. Now, another good thing about Azure, as you can see here, is, for example, if I did tell you about virtual machine, but I know I'm very bad at explaining, right? So, and you need more explanation about virtual machines. So you can just go on to here, and when you just hover over virtual machines, you see it provides you some useful link and free training from Microsoft. Isn't that amazing? So if I click on Introduction to Azure Virtual Machine, which I'm not gonna do now because that's kind of not but if you click on that, it will just take you to that website in Microsoft Learn or Microsoft Docs, and will give you the whole tutorial on how you can navigate and get started with virtual machines. What are those? What kind of configurations do you need, and how to navigate through them? How to get started? How to run them? How to get your work done via virtual machines? And that kind of like that kind of pop up comes for any of those services that you have here, and it just gives you all the resources that you can use to learn those services. So we have in compute, we have virtual machines, we have some cloud services, some classic cloud services. some disk storage, and so on. And Kubernetes services. Kubernetes, another fancy word out there, which is very popular. A lot of people are using it. There is a lot of demand in industry for Kubernetes developer, and that's another resource that you have in here in the Compute tab under Azure. So use Azure Kubernetes services to create and manage Kubernetes clusters. Azure will handle all the clustering operations, including creating, scaling, upgrading, all those terms which Vidushi told you about. And all of that you can do in here with Microsoft Azure. And again, free training on what is Kubernetes, introduction to Kubernetes, and how you can do that on Azure over here. Let's move on to the next section, which is networking. So you have all kind of networking operations. If you're into networking, this is your go-to place. It provides you with network interfaces, managing all your network loads, managing your IPs, connecting different systems, and just monitoring the usage and so on, along with firewall and connections, right? Um, Next is wow, the storage one. So the storage section is like wow, because with big data. The reason I'm saying wow so many times because of big data, there is so much of data all across, and it's really difficult at this point for any company or any project to have their data just on their device, because you cannot simply manage that kind of data, that huge data on a single device, on your individual devices, and thus you need cloud services for that. And storage is the section to go to. Azure offers you with all kind of data storage options like data lakes, storage accounts. You can create them and so on, and you can manage, upgrade, scale, share, and do all of that with your data while securing, while you're not bothered about the. I mean, Azure handles all the security policies based on what are your requirements. Do you want your data to reside just in your own country? Well, you can select that region while creating those data resources, and you can do that. That way, the data is not going out of your country and resides in the servers in your country. And any of those security policies, if you have in mind, you can be aware of that, and you can select that while creating those resources. And there you go. You're safe, you're secure, your data is private, you're maintaining all the privacy standards while storing your data on cloud. Next is the web services. I've used this app service so many times. The Azure App Service lets you create some static and functional web apps. And it's amazing, right? So your web app is created, it's on cloud, it's managing. You don't have to run your own server or run your own machine all the time to just let the web app functioning, because Azure is doing all that for you. So you can see I've created some resources before, and also you have training for that on how to create web apps. Maybe web app or app service is something, if you're new to Azure, I'll recommend to get started with, because it's fairly easy to create a web app, and host it on Azure. So that can be one of the first step to get started at. You have Power Platform, you have Azure Spring Apps, some static web apps, cognitive search, and so on. Now, I know these are just buzzwords as of now, which doesn't stand a lot of meaning, but yes, you can just hover over them and jump onto their learning resources and learn about them. We have some mobile apps, again with app services and Power App. We have containerization, so you can create some Kubernetes containers, and use them for all kind of work that you're doing as a developer or as a manager. You have databases, again, something related to storage, but not exactly that. So you also have option here to use certain functions to manage your data. For example, you have your SQL server stretch databases, or simple SQL databases, MySQL data servers that you can use to store your data and then run some queries on to get whatever you like, get all the insight or inferences from your data. So you have tons of option here with SQL virtual machines, SQL elastic pools, SQL servers, Postgre SQL servers, and so on, or even MongoDB if you want that. So based on all the requirements, or what kind of functions that you usually use, what kind of databases that you usually use. You can find them like Postgre, SQL, or MySQL, and you can just select them here and get started. You have analytics option with Databricks, with Power BI. I've used Power BI and that is amazing. It provides you with great charts, all those good looking charts and figures that gives you insights over your data. And that's highly recommended to learn. And that is one of the go-to thing about Azure. There are tons of machine learning resources. Machine learning is booming because not just because it's just another buzzword people want to learn, because there are a lot of applications of machine learning. One can go for, use it and explore it and create amazing applications with it. So Azure machine learning pool with these old functionalities is of a great help. I can, if time permits, I can quickly jump on to, let me share my screen again. I can jump on to custom vision, which is one of the Azure services. So I can simply type custom vision.ai. Okay, mistake there, custom vision.ai. And I go on to, this is a cognitive services by Microsoft under Microsoft Azure. So if I sign in, it takes me to my account. I already have some projects loaded here, created here. So I'll just click on those projects and not create a new one because we don't have that much time. So if I click on, say, Dory Reactor, so this is one of the session I did for Reactor. So what you can do is just upload all the images that you have here. So it's an object detection project. Upload all the images that you have here. Our objective here is to detect Dory out of it. Just train the data. If I go back to the trained project, which has already been trained here. So if I click on finding Dory, and if I go on performance, um, so see, I've already trained a model which kind of detects Dory out of your images. So if I go on prediction, and if you just upload certain images, if I click on quick test, now I don't have Dory's image as of now. So, but if I upload a Dory image over here, it will just show me small boxes of detection on specific to location where Dory is located in the image and can detect Dory out of it. Now, this is just an example, right? Dory is the fish, but you can do this for, say, number plate detection or tumor detection. If you have some cell images and you want to detect a specific part of that image in order to make decision on whether disease is there or not, or if there are moving videos or moving image, you have images of um, certain cars where the cars are not following the traffic signals or breaking them, and now if you want to capture the number plate of that car, you can do that here. You can create a model which does that and just train on it and get some images, train on it and test it, and it should work. So that's the power of custom vision here. Let me switch back to our main Azure uh, tab, where we were just going through all the resources. So that was one of the applications of Azure machine learning using custom vision, but you have many more other than those. Now we'll just quickly go through, like make it a little more faster and just go through what are the other resources. You have IoT resources if you're into Internet of Things, then you can jump onto that. You have mixed reality, integration, some identity, some security things which are very important in this era. If you're into DevOps, then this is the location you want to jump onto. Some migration, monitoring your resources, management and governance of your resources, hybrid and multi-cloud, Intune, and all the other 158 resources that Azure offers. Like 158 within the others tab, that is extra big, other than the ones we already went through. So that is all the resources Microsoft Azure offers to you, and 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 one can go for. So best strategy is to go on Microsoft Learn. So I can simply click on Learn. I think it should be learn.microsoft dot learn.azure.com or microsoft.com. I'm so bad at typing stuff. Right. So we are here on Microsoft Learn, and here you can find all the resources that you want to learn. For example, if I simply search for Azure right? Just let's just search for Azure. So I get all the resources that I have. I can click on provide me documentation. So I get this documentation about Azure. I can click on provide me training. So I get Azure on, so I get this Microsoft Learn for Azure, a learning path that I can explore, which has all these learning paths within it, some modules that I can jump onto based on my requirement and what I want to learn. For example, if I want to learn Azure SQL fundamentals, as these resources, I can just start. It has some 6 units. I can read those units, try practicing them parallelly, and just learn Azure. So it's easy to get started. It's easy to learn. It's you have a lot of resources. So I hope you did get some good learning out of the sessions and certain directives to jump onto and follow it for future to get started with Azure, learn more about it and practice it for your projects. And do create amazing projects out of it and let me know. Do message me on Twitter or whatsoever, and do let me know what you did with Azure because I'll be happy to know about it. Also, maybe just tweet about if you do create something, maybe tweet about it and tag us. Put the hashtag related to Microsoft Student Summit, and we'll be happy to see those posts and tweets coming up and some advantage of out of this session, so some results out of this session. So that was me, and that was Vidushi. And thank you. I hope you liked this session.